teaching us that you cannot save people, but you can only love them. With extreme gratitude, on behalf of the class of 2017.
Thanks, Annette. I'm good. All right, so quick note before I begin, ladies and gentlemen. With these guys, I normally, for vocab units, I do a rap where I incorporate all the vocab words. I didn't do that last time, so I put them in the speech. So, you know, to learn. All right. Good morning, parents. Good afternoon, family. Good evening, friends. Graduates, what's up? What an attainment. Yeah, it's happening. It's only gonna get worse. Before I bequeath my final words of wisdom and ridiculousness to these fine graduates on the stage, I want to take a moment and congratulate all of you in the audience for your hustle and for your grind to get your child sitting where they are today. We appreciate you. I also want to take a moment and acknowledge my counterparts, my peers, my friends. The faculty and staff at Lenfest are the most inspiring group of people I've ever met. The constant hustle and grind that you guys go through every day on the front lines with teenagers. Let that sink in. It motivates me, even on my lowest of days. I'm truly humbled and honored to be representing you on this stage. I think that it's important that we acknowledge in this time of political nonsense that it truly takes a village to improve the village. Oh, you like that? Yeah, okay. Good, we're good. We're rolling. So we've come from far and wide, and we've converged here to see the product of our hustle and our grind. And looking at these guys, I'd say we did good. So, and now to. Oh, we're not gonna be home. Don't worry. Welcome to Stroke. Graduates, you are about to disperse from our halls forever, or until you visit. I was asked to be your keynote speaker today because I'm awesome. Scrupulous, one you hold in high esteem. Look at the uncanny way I can successfully be Ben Franklin. You guys have walked away learning so much about Ben Franklin. These guys know two things. One, Kuncio loves him. Two, that's it. Hashtag teacher life. The truth is, I'm up here speaking to you because Miss DiDonato does not like to give speeches. Love you, dude. But also because I asked to be up here. I want to be the one to send you off. This is just my third year teaching, and most of you have been affiliated with me for my entire career. We talked Franklin and city history and Philly politics. We listened to Wes Moore give an unbelievable speech. We didn't think to ask him to give this one. Through hundreds of hours of writing, assertion, context, quote, commentary, context, quote, commentary, you still forgot to put your name on the paper. Which I know seems venial, but remember, your name is the most important word in your life. We performed Shakespeare, we read Gatsby, we analyzed and discussed how all are relevant in our present-day society. We came at each other's necks in surprisingly vicious vocab raps, Aaron and Mike. Respect, respect, respect. And we threw down a crown. And we definitely argued. I have taken every single one of your phones. I've caught every single one of you skulking in the halls and given you a demerit. We've argued, but I've also shared a laugh with each and every one of you. That's the nature of a family. And that's how I always look at you, my students. From every moment that I hopefully was able to teach you something, you did the same for me. I was not omniscient, I didn't know everything. I certainly didn't have a panacea which solved every problem or answered every question. I certainly wasn't invulnerable. I've learned a lot about myself, about education, and the world working with you. The most defining moment for me ever as a teacher was November 9th, 2016, the day after Election Day. I was brought face to face with a reality which I thought I understood, but grossly overestimated.
We all did.
Who do you tell? I remember reminding you to vote on Monday, assuring you Americans would never vote for a man with no experience, no morals, and no principles. I then remember Wednesday, trying to rationalize how he became the next president, and then also trying to reassure you that your vote does matter. We talked about how it was the economy and healthcare, but also that there's still rampant racism and ignorance that I, for one, was too privileged to truly comprehend. I remember your faces and visible concern about what malevolence and animosity a Donald Trump presidency would bring, and I also remember my inability to formulate an appropriate response to you, my students, my family. It's a complicated, tense, and unforgiving world which you're about to embark into. I'm not trying to scare you, I'm stating a reality. You need to have the right mindset that will prepare you not only to survive in this environment, but also to thrive. A survivalist mentality that will allow you to enjoy the beauty which life brings. I'll try to keep this point cogent. That was forced. Our time is finite. We only live once. It's all ultimately up to you to determine how you will live your life. The formula to success is not hard to ascertain. In fact, it's quite simple. So here's your final homework assignment. Write it down. Always improve. Start with yourself. You are the only person you will ever be. I can't tell if that's the dumbest line I've ever said or the deepest, but I'm sticking with it. Throw out that notion of perfection. You'll never achieve perfection. It's an impossible standard to set for yourself. Instead, focus on bettering yourself slowly, steadily, focusing on one thing at a time. If you pick one bad habit to rid yourself of each year, 5 years down the line, think how good you'll feel if you no longer swore, bit your fingernails, interrupted people, called out, or picked your teeth in public. Procrastination will come next, or you'll kick it down the road. But don't cry at imperfection. No one likes perfect people anyway. They're annoying. But a flawed person who's trying to better themselves, that's inspiring. Never stop learning. Graduation does not mean to stop reading books. The world is placed at your feet through literature. Ideas are developed and enhanced that cause you to discover more about yourself and others, and books, guys, are always better than the movies. For no matter how descriptive the authors are, they still rely on your imagination and your creativity to create that final image. Books are personal connections. And read the news, because you need to know how and why things are so crazy right now. And it's not just reading. Never stop writing. Never stop creating. That is your voice. Those are your words. They are who you are more than a selfie ever will be. Also, continue learning new words. Because as much as I love John, just because John defines anything doesn't mean it should define everything. Love that word. It's also about trying out new hobbies and new skills. Everyone is amazing at something. You just need to be willing to try and find it. If there's one thing, one lesson that you can learn from me dressing up as young Ben Franklin, rapping about nonsense, it's that you have to be willing to put yourself out there. I'm not saying walk into doors like I do to make people laugh, but I am saying that a fear of failure or a fear of being laughed at should not stop you from trying out new things. What you need to realize, you will always be your biggest opponent, because self-doubt is natural, but it's also detrimental. Once you take away your own mental block, you will realize that you, like everyone around you, is a talented artist. Remember Wes Moore's words, hell is looking back at the end of your life and seeing all the things you could have accomplished if you just tried. Yeah, Wes Moore. While it's important for you to work hard to make goals and achieve them, remember you can't do it alone. You have a support system around you to lean on when the going gets tough. We'll all have your back. But this is reciprocal. You owe it to pay it forward. Give back to your friends. Give back to your family. Give back to your community. If we all have that mentality, you don't have to worry about yourself. You got hundreds of others who already have your back. you need to remember, if you know that if you know that they have your back, that's comforting. But if you know you got their back, that's empowering. Now, I'm throwing a lot at you, I'm getting a lot of applause, but if there's one thing which I want you to walk away remembering today, it's this. Every room you walk into, ask yourself, how can I make it better? That's the code I try to follow because that is the code that Ben Franklin followed, and he's on the $100 bill, so good advice. Remember, a life is what you make for yourself. A legacy is what you make for others. And just to be clear, I'm not saying act like a saint. Don't be humble. Do all the good you can. Make sure you do it with a strut. Be arrogant, nonchalant. Walk with a limp. Move different.
Right.
Yeah! But don't be supercilious. Don't disrespect others. Just let them know that you're that goat. It's not because of your talents or your skills. It's because of your accomplishments. Own your accomplishments like your favorite rapper. Be like, you see that tree right there? I planted that, and I picked up the trash around it too. I mean, that's just an example, but I do have a modest proposal. And this is the last piece of advice. Teach. I'm not talking about textbooks and lectures or worksheets and do-nows. I'm talking about taking under the wing young people and helping them shape their own identities. You are students of color who have lived in one of the poorest, crime-filled cities in the country. You've watched as friends and family have succumbed to the temptations, to the obstacles, to the challenges that come from living in this city. And yet here you are. You've graduated. You all can educate future students of Lenfest better than I ever can. Because I'm not talking like necessarily teaching in the classroom, but you do have it in you. You all are teachers. You all are mentors. You all are tutors. You all are coaches. You all are leaders. You just have to realize that. Take those first steps and we'll roll with you. Ben Franklin's gonna ride with you. Now, I didn't write a rap, but I do want to end this with my favorite poem called Invictus. May you find its strength to you as you take on the world together. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my incomparable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody, but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears, looms but the horror of the shade. And yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with the punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. So with that, graduates, I wish you luck. I love you all. And congratulations.